Why, hello, I am Brian, the Theoretical Gamer, and in this video I am going to talk about humor games. Don't try. That's not to say you can't, just don't try. If you try, it's not going to work. Let me give you an example of two humorous role-playing games. Humorous, as in games that try to be funny. These are classic games that have been around for years and years and years. So you might have to do some digging to find them. One of them is Tales from the Floating Vagabond. On the surface, it sounds like a really funny game. It's basically, alright, it's kind of a science fiction meets fantasy meets bar. It's centered around a bar, and you meet there and you go on wacky hijinks and adventures. Now, the system is ass, and it's full of jokes. And that's the problem. It tries to be funny. And a lot of what it does is and you're kind of restricted in a way to the jokes that it provides for you. It's a restrictive system that tries too hard to be funny. A lot of people like it. A lot of people say it's a classic. I didn't like it much. The other one is a licensed game, the Ghostbusters role-playing game. That was a successful attempt. It was the first real attempt, I thought, at genre emulation. It tried to recreate the feel of the movies, and it succeeded. You couldn't really die in-game unless you decided that you wanted to, and you wanted for dramatic reasons, which freed you up to do lots and lots of crazy-ass shit. The stats were very, very simple. You had, like, brains, muscles, moves, and cool. And each one had a skill attached to it. So you had a brain skill, a muscle skill, a move skill, and a cool skill, which you would invent. Right? So your cool skill might be pick up chicks. Your brain's skill might be archaeology or something. And your skill was always, I think, like 3 points higher than your basic stat. It was extremely simple. It was meant to be. You would roll dice. One of the dice was a different color than the others, and it had a Ghostbuster symbol where the 6 should be. And if it came up, it counted as a 0 towards your total, and something annoying and funny would happen that the game master would determine. You would choose a motivation for your character, which was usually from a list involving sex, wealth, fame, soulless science, and serving humanity. So a very simple motivation for your simple character. And that was it. You created this character, you put them together on a team, you sent them out to hunt ghosts. Now, I had a buddy who ran it for us, and he discovered the secret. Don't write funny adventures. If you look at the Ghostbusters movie, it was actually a fairly serious story. This building had been designed by some crazy cultist to be a magnet for supernatural activity, and it was going to bring back some kind of ancient god to the world who would cause havoc and destruction. Serious adventure. But it was funny. And that's the difference. Tales of the Floating Vagabond tries to bring the funny. Ghostbusters was designed to allow the funny. It basically gave you a lot of room to be funny. Because, let's be honest, your characters, you give them some room, they're going to be doing, you give them enough rope to try the most crazy-ass shit they can think of, and they will. You create a system that allows them to do it, and they will. You let them swap jokes back and forth. You're going to have a hilarious game. So, that's the thing. Find a system that allows you to be funny. Find a system that because you can't force it. Just go in with the attitude that you're going to allow them to be goofy and funny and cool. So if you want a humor game, that's the answer. Don't try to be funny. Just allow the funny. And if you can find a copy of Ghostbusters, find it. It was fantastic. People will tell you the first version of it was better than the later one, Ghostbusters International. I thought they were, pretty much the same. they still had a lot of room for hilarity. But because sometimes just a silly game can be a great, if you need a break between serious life and death adventures, it can work. Give it a shot.